Chicka bow bow bow, me strip, sit down, bow, chicka bow bow bow. That's my strip music. It's everybody does the boom chicka bow bow. You gotta put a little flavor in there. Boom chicka bow 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 bow. I like a little riff in there. Hello everybody. Happy Wednesday. It feels like a million years since I've talked to all of you lovely, lovely people. Yeah, Christine, I should do. I do the checklist. Here's the checklist right here, including the very important points. Hit record, then read, stop recording, turn off lower third. It's 4 friggin' things I got to do. You would think that wouldn't be difficult after writing the episode, editing the fiction, getting everything ready, getting all the assets and graphics ready. And then all I really got to do is it's a 4-step plan. And that gets tricky for me. Oh, let's get our timer up. Boom. Look at that. 1:36. We're going to dive right into the read. Hopefully everything goes okay. How was everyone? How has your week been? Hope you've all done, all had a great week. It's been very rainy here in Southern California. And you know what? When I say that global warming melts a lot of shit and there's going to be more precipitation, we've got a whole lot more precipitation going on right now. Hello, a real girl herself in the chat room. I know her, you guys. We're famously pals. Steve the Iceberg Rickyberg in the house. Everybody give Steve the Iceberg Rickyberg a shout out. He's not feeling at the top of his game today, but we are pulling for him to recover quickly, to feel better quickly, everybody. It's the way it goes. Daryl, yeah, never rains in California. Man, when the snow hit Southern California, the sleet hit Southern California, people of a certain political spectrum lost their fucking minds. This was proof of a whole giant body of work didn't even exist. And now we have floods, more floods, and we have a flood warning. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to business. First of all, pop over to the chat where I have my countdown. Shoot, let's take these 18 seconds to move that countdown to story time over. Oh, that looks so much sexier. That's so much better. All right, let's turn that off. Bam, off. Go back to main. Turn that off. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go through the script and get ready to read for your lovely, lovely faces. Hang up the Sennheisers, which are not working very well. And let's get into it. As you know, I do a little brief intro on this to set up the audio for Steve the Iceberg Rickyberg to go through and edit and get it ready for the feed. Let's get into it right now. And I got a mouse that's not working. I'm a tech genius, you guys. You got to understand this, what a tech genius I am. All right, here we go, Steve. Ready? First of all, it's a 4-step plan. 1, hit record. Step 2 is read. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Here we are with Slay episode number 13. Let me get you caught up on the story so far, and then we are all going to get into it. And away we go. Previously on Slay. Billy was trying to get answers from the Nerp Perp. But first, Big Hack showed up to spoil the party. Then the Jerboa Shadows appeared. Several bounty hunters, including Lincoln, an unknown man with 6 shooters at his sides and a giant lizard on a leash, hit the Nerp Perp's neighborhood looking to cash in on a $50,000 bounty on Billy's head. A bounty set by Dante Oganov to get revenge on Billy. Another bounty hunter, known to Lincoln as Boss Hawg, hit the neighborhood as well. While Lincoln sent Shitbird to hunt for Billy, Boss Hawg hit the 7-Eleven parking lot to talk to Butch and Money Monday, who along with Big Hack are members of the Rolling Outlaws gang that wants Billy to pony up 5 Gs. And now, episode 13 of Slay. The shadows moaned. The shadows rattled. Lil B, what the fuck is this? Real fear in Big Hack's voice now. Fear that Billy felt as well. I don't know, Billy said. watching shadows stretch up the walls. "You're asking the wrong guy." Big Hack reached to the small of his back and drew a pistol. "Hippie," he said, "you know what's happening?" The nerp perp used his fingertip to light a third candle in his candelabra. "Jerboas, man. I told you to stop talking about magic." Billy wanted to run. He'd have to go past Big Hack to get out of the alley. And the way Hack was looking left, right, up, down, his hand tight on that pistol, he might shoot if Billy moved too fast. A crunching cacophony, like bricks being smashed by a steamroller. The long-eared shadows started to peel off the walls. Long, bone-thin shadow legs, dark as storm clouds, stepped into the alley. Shadow bodies followed. Skinny shadow tails swished. 6 creatures, black and growing blacker, each about Billy's size if you didn't count the long, wide ears that rose up and back. Eyes formed, heavy spots of deep red. Mouths appeared and opened, maws of glowing orange rimmed by metallic teeth that gleamed like wet daggers. Billy felt the heat of their breath like silent hairdryers blowing his way. As if they were one, 6 blazing mouths let out a unified, malevolent gurgle. Big Hack aimed at one, then another, then another. Billy, make it stop," he said, his voice thinner now, a whisper of terror and confusion. "Make it stop." Billy didn't know how to make it stop. And besides, he was too busy pissing his pants yet again. "Nothing you can do now, man," the nerp perp said. "It's got to run its course. Jerboas are always listening, man." 6 creatures, like man-sized mice standing on hind legs, made of shadow, murder mouths smelling of sulfur, ears half as long as their bodies twitching this way and that. One took a step toward Big Hack. Big Hack shot it. The bullet kicked up a dissipating swirl of inky black. The creature stepped closer. "Man, fuck this," Big Hack said. He ran for the alley entrance, but made it only 3 steps before the shadow monsters swarmed him, their orange mouths wide until they bit down on Big Hack. He screamed as one locked onto his gun hand. He fired once, twice, 3 times, each bullet ripping out of the creature with nothing more than a puff of roiling black. A creature bit down on his leg, another on his shoulder, still another on his ribs. As Billy watched, Big Hack started to dissolve, flesh and blood and bone converting to living shadow. "Help me!" Big Hack reached out his free hand toward Billy. "Help me, Billy!" The hand was real for a moment, as normal as it could be. Then the shadow spread from shoulder to elbow, from elbow to forearm, from forearm to hand. The creatures bit and chewed and swallowed shadows that had been a human being only moments before. And then Big Hack was no more. 3 sets of red eyes turned toward Billy. He couldn't move. Fear locked him to his spot as if the trash bags he sat on were concrete anchors holding him in place. The shadow creature stepped toward him on legs so thin they didn't look strong enough to hold up the bodies. Orange mouths opened. Billy saw his own terrified reflection on 100 saliva-streaked steel teeth. Billy trembled, because that was all he could do. The mouths came closer, their heat chasing away the morning's chill. He heard the nerp perp's voice. "Stay real still, man." The mouths came closer. Billy wondered how much it hurt to be turned into shadow and ripped into pieces by those cruel teeth. He closed his eyes and waited for the end. The heat faded away. He felt the morning cold on his face. Billy opened one eye. The creatures were gone. "Oh, wow, man," the nerd perp said. "That was a trip. I thought you were Gonersville, man. You were the one talking, and you're pretty dry. I wonder why they didn't take you. There's something different about you, man." Was it over? Or was this some kind of a trick? Were the creatures coming back? "I gotta get out of here," Billy said. "That's a good idea, man. I mean, no offense, but the way you shoot your mouth off, I don't want you around me, man. You dig?" Billy awkwardly pushed off the trash bags and stood. "Cops will come," he said. "Even in this neighborhood, they'll come when people report gunshots." "No one will report anything, man. When Jerboas show up, no one hears anything except the people they're checking out. You dig?" Billy did not dig. Not one bit. He wanted to go home. Go home and clean up. Go home and change out of his piss-soaked pants. Billy started down the alley, but stopped when a man stepped into the entrance. A man walking a big dog. "Hello there," the man said. "I'm looking for someone named Lil B. Might that be you?" "Look at this antebellum pimp motherfucker right here," Money Monday said. "Is that a satin bow tie? He looks like he stepped straight off a plantation." Butch watched the whitest man he'd ever seen walk their way. White suit, white cowboy hat, white boots. Bleach white, like he was a pitchman in a detergent commercial. White face, too. So pale, he looked like he'd hidden away from sunlight his entire life. "Howdy, boys," the man said. I say, I'm looking for a fella might be from these here parts." A deep southern drawl to go with the big-ass white truck and the white clothes. The man was like a cartoon character come to life. He also looked like he could handle his business. A big old glass of whole milk, walking around tall and proud in this neighborhood, and he wasn't scared in the least. The man had arrived with two others, a brother and a Latino with a scorpion tattooed on his right cheek. Those two were talking to everyone around, showing a picture of someone on iPads, like cops might, only they weren't cops. "You send your boys out to talk to the riffraff, but you came straight to us," Butch said. "Why us?" The man smiled. Just like everything else about him, his teeth were too white. "Well, you never know who might have info or Well, you never know who might have info or what info you might get if you ask around, so you gotta be thorough," the man said. "But as soon as I laid eyes on you boys holding down the fort here in the 7-Eleven parking lot, I knew who ran the show around here." Genuine respect. Not much of it granted, but respect all the same. "The name is Hawg," the man said. "I got a drawing of who I'm looking for." A drawing? The other two had those iPads. That was weird. "Let me see," Butch said, although he already had a hunch who this man might be after. The man slowly, politely opened his white jacket. White satin on the inside to match the vest and the bow tie. A white leather shoulder holster holding a white handgun. A .45, maybe. The man slowly reached toward it. Money Monday's hand shot to the hilt of his own pistol, jammed into his belt line. Butch moved his hand slightly, extended his fingers, silently telling Money to stop. "The picture is in my pocket," the man said. Butch nodded. The man reached into his jacket pocket, came out with a piece of paper about the size of his hand. In any other situation, Butch would have said that the paper was white, but compared to the man's outfit, it looked yellowish. Goes by the name Lil B. The man held up the paper. On it, a sketch of the face of Billy Middleton. Y'all know him? As a matter of fact, I do, Butch said. He owes me money. I have a feeling if you find him first, I won't get that money. Hawg put the sketch back in his jacket pocket. He did so slowly, nodding once graciously to Money Monday as he did. Well then, the man said, looks like we have a mutual interest in this here fella. Now, we could be at odds with each other about this, but that only damages one side or the other, and most often times both. I'd rather play nice together, and we both get something out of it. I say, time is of the essence here, so let's make a deal. Lil B's money was important, but his contacts mattered far more. Butch was ready to move up in the world. Whitey Hawg here might help that cause far better than Billy ever could. Make me an offer, Butch said. Compared to drug-dealing orcs, tracksuit-wearing ogres, cloak-clad murderers, and big-eared shadow monsters biting people into smoke niblets and gulping them down, a man and his dog, even though it was a big dog, shouldn't seem like that much of a threat. And yet, Billy's survival alarm, which had served him well his entire life, was blaring away, full blast. You said, Lil B? Billy shook his head. Nope, that don't ring any bells. It's a dumb nickname if you ask me. The dog growled low. My name is Pragman. The man gave the leash a little flip. This is my hound, Honeydew. Now, Billy was no expert on dogs, but that one didn't look like a hound. Didn't look like any breed he knew of. Maybe a bull mastiff, but bigger. Thicker head, wider neck, more muscle. Lil B, the nerp perp said. No, man, I don't know anyone by that name. I can't help you, man. The perp didn't sound as frightened as he had before the Jerboa thing showed up and tore Big Hack into bits, but he didn't sound relaxed either. I see, Pragman said. And who are you? I'm the nerp perp, man. I don't want no trouble. And just so you know, man, I'm under Callista's protection. Pragman nodded. Understood. You might want to rethink that relationship. I doubt her protection will amount to much pretty soon. He looked at Billy. And who might you be? Al Johnson, Billy said. I know, boring name, right? But it's better than Aloysius, though. That's what my mom named me. It's like she might as well send me to school with a note pinned to my chest that said, whip this nerd's ass. You know what I mean? We moved when I was 10. That's when I told people my name was Al. I still got whooped, though, but not as much. And Honeydew growled again. Sorry. Honeydew growled again. Louder this time. She doesn't like your face, Pragman said. He reached into a jacket pocket, pulled out a scrap of paper. He glanced at it, then up at Billy. And I don't like your face, either. Billy felt a shiver wash across his skin, a crawling tingle. The same thing he had felt after doing that dab of Nurple. The air around Pragman and the dog seemed to waver like heat-off blacktop on a hot summer day. In that wavering haze, Billy saw Pragman had holsters strapped to his thighs, big wooden pistol handles curving out of them. And the dog? It looked like a stubby-snouted, longer-legged, muscle-bound alligator. I'm afraid I need to make this quick. Pragman drew a pistol, hip-aimed it at Billy. It looked like something straight out of a Western movie. There's too much competition around here to waste time. But I'll tell you this, Lil B, Dante Oganov sends his regards. Billy felt his bladder trying to squeeze out more fear pee, but all he had was still spreading across his pants, cold and clammy in the chill morning air. Dante had sent Pragman. This was bad. Maybe even worse than the goddamn shade monsters and their red eyes and their orange mouths and their metal teeth. I got money, Billy said, already knowing it wouldn't do any good, already knowing that he was dead. Pragman's eyes narrowed. How much? Billy tried to speak, but he couldn't, and he couldn't take his eyes off the dark circle that was the end of the pistol barrel. Forget it, Pragman said. Time's up, Lil B. Billy heard the hard flapping of bird wings. Pissed his pants again! Pissed his pants again! A thum sound, like someone smacking a muted snare drum. In the same instant, a clang of metal on metal. The pistol flew out of Pragman's hand. Billy saw something thin and black spinning through the air away down the alley, saw it clatter on the dirty concrete. It was a short arrow. Leave the other shooter in its holster, a voice called out. Billy knew that voice. He'd heard it in the warehouse, just before Joe got the top of his skull blown open. Pragman dropped the leash. His hand hovered near the hilt of his remaining pistol. The dog gator thing's muscles bunched and twitched. It looked up, head dropping as it tracked something coming down from above. With barely a sound, a gray shape fell onto the alley floor. It was a man wearing a cloak. He stood. It was the psycho who had killed Joe. Wavering, flowing black shade covered his eyes. He held a wicked-looking hatchet in his right hand. Far out, man, the nerd perp said. The man in gray twirled the hatchet once, twice. You can release that hound if you want to, he said. And/or you can draw that pea shooter. Maybe you'll take me out. If you do, the bounty's yours. But I gotta warn you, if you try me, I will cut you down. And that is the end of episode 13 of Slay. I hope you join me next week for episode 14 of Slay. Thank you for listening, and I'm out. I hit record to stop recording, and watch this. Turn up lower third super. Oh my God! Oh my God! It's like the gods of technology have had an orgy and birthed a man so adept at tech and all the buttons and the other things that happen, and that man is me. Ladies and gentlemen, things are starting to get nuts. Hello, Julie Press. How are you? All done, babe. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look. Oh, I don't have my laugh track. Darn it. Or my audience track. I got to get that done. Thanks, baby girl. Cheers, everybody.
Behind the curtain.
Mm-mm-mm.
It ain't easy, but it might be cheesy.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy being cheesy. Let's undo her microphone. Let's make sure her headphones are up. And I didn't get them out, babe. Oh, shoot. Hold on one second, everybody. Don't go nowhere. Don't you go changing.
What are you doing?
I forgot to get the headphones out for you. Let me grab them.
Oh.
I always miss one thing. It seems. Say hi to everybody, baby.
Hi, everybody. I can't move my, I don't even know if I'm still muted. I probably
You're
am.
not. Your mic is working just fine.
We don't have dogs about because we are headed on a trip tomorrow, but and it's raining, so that kind of threw a whole wrench into this folks. But as soon as he gets out from under the desk, I'll scoot in and say hello properly.
Now, Some of you with dirty minds are thinking, Scott's under the desk. What the hell's going on?
Do you need to? Yeah.
Boop. We'll go back to Maine. Get you cued in, darling. There we
Hi,
go.
guys. And what about this one?
Let's try this one right here.
Perfect.
Looking good. You look fabulous.
Well, thank you.
You look fabulous.
I am.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to spend more money, baby. More business money because these headphones are janky.
What? Oops. Sorry.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Let's go over what we got to cover in the show. That was a 25-minute read. Pretty smoking. Excuse me. Let's see. Coming up, we're going to do some housekeeping. And then we're going to talk about our new podcasting deal. Not in great detail, but to give you an overview of kind of what's going on. I've got readings coming up. So if you happened to be in the San Diego area on April 17th at 7 p.m., I will be at Mysterious Galaxy Books. Oh, there you go, Bubba. And then on May 3rd, I'll be at Warwick's in downtown village of La Jolla. Talking about the erstwhile or entwhile or...
The something stories of Marie Curie?
Something experiments of Marie Curie. I suppose I should know the name of the book that I have a story and then I'm doing readings for.
I mean, it got delayed. Okay, so I'll say this: this is a anthology that is edited by Brian Thomas Schmidt, who has edited many of Scott's stories for Jonathan Mayberry, and this is attached to that whole genre. And it got delayed in the pandemic twice. Once because of supply chain issues, and once at the beginning of the pandemic because that was the right thing to do, and then a little bit later because of supply chain issues, and just
Jen, what's up, girl?
Folks trying to figure out.
Miss you.
What they could do with the time that they had, the resources that they had. So it's finally coming out. It's really fun. I will tell you this. Scott's story, if you are a long time fan of Scott's and you remember me joining the fray, my all-time favorite story of Scott's is Red Man and has been Red Man for ages and ages. But the Marie Curie story, creeping up on number one.
Really?
The more I hear it, the more I might like it better. Yeah.
You know why? Because it's got chicks in it, you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a bunch of chicks in it. Also shotguns and radioactive shit.
And I'm not going to lie, he's not wrong because my favorite story of his is about pharmaceuticals gone wild, and my whole education and whole first career was pharmaceuticals, so it makes sense.
Yep. Well, I wrote that story. I wound up marrying this girl. So there you go.
Yeah, you wrote it before you met me, so I feel like it was providence.
All kind of works out. So we got that, and again, I say this every time, but trust me, it's important. We got some new merch coming up. It's pretty sick. And to get that merch, make sure you send SIG text to 855-955-5095. If you're already signed up for the SMS list, you're good to go. If not, just send that sign up for it. Get the 10% coupon after you buy stuff and gouge us for a 10%. Drop off it. It's just subscribe. No big deal.
Yeah,
if you don't like
exciting.
the SMS, you can also sign up. Oops, that's in my bad. You can also go to scottslegal.com/newsletter, get a taste of the new site, which isn't really all that set up yet, but we're still working on it. Either SMS or newsletter, you're all going to get a 10% off coupon, and this stuff is real. Scott Pond has outdone himself this time. It's super cool. We've got some other merch that I can't tell you what ship it might represent, but I've gotten...
Do tell what ship you cannot talk about.
I've gotten buy-in from a certain number of military advisors who consult me on a certain military-oriented property. I got a lot of properties. And so that is coming up. All right. And then, of course, in the house today, and who holds down the party, Steve the Iceberg Rickenberg.
Oh, yeah, you guys.
April 8th. Everybody give Steve a quick shout out. He does all the editing. And the editing lately from this live stream editing has been a different thing. He's had to learn a new software.
Absolutely.
And he's had to manage that new software, edit the video, then kick the audio out, then edit the audio to his exacting standards. And he's just doing a fucking bang-up job on
And
this.
if
He's
you
really doing a
guys
good job.
haven't yet joined the Junkie Happy Hour, I'll say that in general, that means that you don't know Steve terribly well. If you haven't been to a Sigler Fest, you haven't hung out with him at a con, and you haven't joined the Sigler Happy Hour, but he's 100% cool under pressure all the time. He's super happy to just hang out and facilitate us talking to each other. So I missed the last one because my brother was in town and we taught my mom to play dominoes, and then that was the end of the evening. And it is indeed the only way I spend time with my mother, even to this day.
In the house,
but we'll get there.
We have Sherry Moore, who I think either she was, I don't know if you were already a fan, Sherry, but Sherry was on the call. I did a coffee with Christopher. Christopher Hopper is a sci-fi author.
Hey, Sherry.
And we've been trading notes on fiction and marketing, and he's really, really sharp, smart, nice guy. And he's doing a HopperCon, so his fans are going to do their convention, which is coming up in a little while. And A was helpful to share all of our hard-earned lessons with him.
But he's such a delight, too.
Christopher Hopper, you guys should look him up.
Is such a
delightful
delight. Christopher is
author.
such a delight.
Great person.
You know, it depends on whether or not you like genre stories, but his books are good. You should check him out, or check it out if you'd like it, because he's people like us.
I'll tell you what, he's definitely the kind of guy. He's the kind of author who's not going to make you wait 10 years to get a second book in his
also
stories.
True. This is one thing that that Christopher Hopper has that Scott maybe doesn't have is he fulfills his promises a little bit faster than we do.
A little bit better. Okay, so we got all that going on, and then we have one junkie shout out today.
We do. Let me just call that up quick. Now, listen, you guys, should we talk in general about junkie? I wanted to talk a little bit about junkies.
Oh
now.
yeah, I'll deliver the news.
Okay.
Go ahead. Well, you go ahead. Sorry.
So we have. As you know, this week, 2 days ago, was the 3rd anniversary of the World Health Organization declaring a global pandemic. And we started this soon thereafter, in the couple of weeks thereafter. And we're going to keep going for a while now, but eventually you guys will have other things to do. We'll have other things to do. We will have obligations that will take us away from home, which means we can't prep for this. So someday, I'm not saying I'm making an announcement about when, but someday I think this might sunset. That said, it has changed a lot over time. When we first started, we had like 2 to 3 live streams a week, and then we eventually went to twice a week, and we eventually went to once a week, and now we've started this story. So as we've started this story, we found it hard to put all the components in. As you've noticed, we've lost sponsorships because most businesses are back in business, so we don't need to highlight businesses that are not. We've sunsetted a few things, and we're probably going to lean away from Siglabration's photos because they take a significantly bigger amount of time to do right. And if we're going to continue this when we're not physically here in this office, we need to start maybe scaling back a little bit. So you may see fewer pictures. We're going to stop asking you to send pictures in. If you have an extraordinary celebration, and there's a couple of junkies in the chat room who I just talked to privately about this, who have a very big celebration coming up, and I want to celebrate those things. If you have a really big celebration, a birth, a marriage, whatever, please share that with us. Share any celebration you want us to talk about, but so that we can keep this on the air and mobile, we're going to pull back from doing so many photos so that it's more
The photos are actually quite a bit of work for me, and now that work is dedicated to getting the content ready and the story ready and everything else.
So don't fear. This is not an announcement this week and then next week I say, we're done in June. It's not that. It's just changing so that we can stay here and have this community still thrive and enjoy this. So
I forgot to call some stuff up.
Yeah, you call the stuff up.
Go ahead, baby.
But let me find that.
But
But we are going to change that. But that doesn't mean, like, if you get a grandbaby or engaged or open a new store or something giant, send a photo. Send a photo of you smiling.
We'll do the
and
best
toasting.
we can. We'll do the best we can to get that involved.
Feel free to send along any celebrations that you want to talk about. And if we can fit them in, we'll fit them in. Because words, way easier than pictures.
We know words. One half of us doesn't know math that well. One half of us knows math.
Is he saying I don't know math?
That's a lie. I lied.
If I didn't like you so much, I would suggest you were going to sleep on the couch. But I love you too much.
First half of my life, I had Rob Otto to do all of the math in my life. And now I have you to do all the math in my life.
But anyway, that's a shift that's coming. Again, don't worry that next week we're going to be like, we're out. But let's move on. We have one celebration.
Yep.
Sherry, I was kidding. I could never.
Time. Come on.
So a few weeks ago, I mentioned that my good pal. Either way, it's fine.
Ready?
Yeah. My good pal, the Munchkin Pond, was at that moment was at softball tryouts, and then they let us know later that week that the Munchkin officially made the varsity softball team for her 3rd year in a row.
Good job.
She's also chosen this year to be number 35. And number 35 is an homage to her tiny mama. You can show the next photo. Our good friend Tori Pond.
There we go.
Was a goalie for years and years and years, and she played at number 35 as well. So this year the Munchkin chose 35, and it's quite special.
That choked me up. That's great. That's great.
It's really, really special.
That's, you know what? That's why Quentin Barnes is number 10, because that was my dad's number when he played in college. So
this was quite a while ago, so it's my mistake. This was back in February that she was on the softball team. I bet softball's almost all over by now, but it's been busy for a few weeks, and I didn't run these photos. So I'll have a couple more photos that I am make-gooding and hadn't caught up on because it's been a busy few weeks.
Is make-gooding a gerund?
Now it is.
Okay. All right.
But congratulations, Munchkin. I'm so proud of you that you made the softball team for the varsity softball team for the third year in a row, and it's super special that you chose Tiny Mama's number.
Oh, I did this wrong. That's okay. We're going to go to here. So we got all right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I told you we got some information about the podcast.
Oh, yes.
Keep in mind that Sigler in Place is, without a doubt, the world's longest running fiction podcast. No one even comes close. You know what I'm saying? No one is even in the ballpark of 17 years. Is it?
Sure.
Let's go with 17. Is it 18 years?
No, it's not even 20. I think it's 17 years. It's
17
2005, so 2015.
I'm going to say or do math in my head. Why don't you do math out loud for the people at home?
So I'm going to do math out loud for all of us. It was 2005 in March. This is currently March. Actually, it was 2005, I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So we have 10 years to 2015. We have another 5 to 2020. And then we have another 3. So this is the 18th. This is the beginning of the 18th year of the Scott Sigler podcast.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. People have children younger than the older that is the podcast of 18. And I knew that number. I was letting my lovely wife catch up. You know what I'm saying.
Whatever it takes.
Okay, so we've been doing this shit a long time. We got the big swagger. We got the pedigree. You know, we are bona fide,
there
as they
are
would say.
Several questions that require an answer, young man.
Oh, real quick, let's go to chat. Okay, we got the podcast stuff coming up. But first of all, I believe it was Martin Evans. Coach Sigler was number 10. Who was number 6? This kid right here.
But who's number 6 on the Krakens?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
In my head, I sort of think it might be Rick Warburg, which is fascinating.
No, he's a tight end. Warburg's not number 6. He's a tight end.
Okay.
Also, I won't get into it too much, but the Lions have made...
Don Pine?
The Detroit Lions have made they've made a terrible decision today. A terrible, terrible decision. Lions 7-10 this coming year. Calling it right now. Calling my shot.
And listen, I know a lot of you are football fans. I know a lot of you know that I'm a New York Jets fan. I don't want to talk about it. I fucking don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't give a shit.
All right. Now,
Service road to the Super Bowl. That's
now
all
that
I'm
I'm
saying.
done, now that I'm done jibber jabbering and telling you how grandiose our girthy 18 years are, it's time for me to figure out how to do this. We got to go to books, and then give me a second, guys. I did not prepare for this. Shocker. I have to go to a little window. Hey, don't go nowhere. I'm gonna get this. Swear to God. Swear to God. Let's go to, I have to get this up. So you have to get it up, you guys. That's the way it works. Window, and that is Google Chrome Realm. There it is. All right, boom. Here's the news, ladies and gentlemen. And this is technically, I know we're live streaming to many people. This is off the record right now. What I want off the record. So y'all keep it to yourselves. Keep it to yourselves. What I want.
Also, any of you who watch this ad infinitum for the rest of the time it's on YouTube, keep it to yourself.
Keep it to shh. Don't be so blabby with your blabby mouth, Blabberson. So I want to let you guys know that we have made a deal with Realm, and we owe a lot of this deal to Evo Terra and Christoph Laputka. Christoph Laputka, of course, the creator of the Leviathan Chronicles, fabulous podcast. You guys should be listening to it. Evo Terra, the founder of PatioBooks.com, and a huge influence on everything that A and I do, and just a generally snazzy dude in general. So,
and he's been a good friend of ours for years. Like he's a good guy.
If you like what I do, there is an enormous amount of fiction available over at Realm. Realm.fm has all of these shows, and basically what they have done is take my 18 years of awesomeness, ripped it off, crammed it into a much easier digestible format, and given you an entire site full of podcast shows. So some of you may have been seeing some weirdness in the podcast feed. If you're still subscribed to the podcast feed, there's been episodes re-downloading. Some of them have been downloading with ads inserted, 6-7 ads at a time inserted into a 20-minute podcast. It's been a little bit crazy. But we're in the middle of doing. The reason we have episodes downloading and weirdness in the feed is we're in the process of Evo is transferring all of our content over to Realm along with Alley Press. I got the hiccups. Evo and Allie are working with the gang at Press to get everything uploaded. So I just want to cover what's going on here. There are these shows. Now, I'll be honest, I have not listened to most of these shows, but there's a shit ton
but
of free fiction
I have
here.
listened to, scroll back, I've listened to some of Book Burners. We have author friends who are part of Book Burners, and it's kind of fun. I've listened to some of that. Let's see. I probably listened to some of these that you may have not because you're always writing.
But here's the big overview. They've got a few media ties like ElfQuest. I think they've got some Star Wars. They got some Marvel stuff. A lot of horror. A lot of sci-fi.
I did when I saw the triangle. I listened a little bit, but I don't have enough to tell you whether or not it's my thing.
So for your edification, there's an enormous amount of free shit you can listen to. Realm is completely ad supported, although you can buy a premium plan, which I don't know much about. So you listen to stuff, you're going to get ads inserted in pre-roll and in mid-roll, which is the thing that might piss a lot of you off. So in the near future, my stories are going to have probably going to have a mid-roll at like 10 to 12 minutes. There's going to be an ad inserted. Since I have understood how this works, what we are doing is I'm going to start writing Slay episodes to kind of have a natural ebb about 10 to 12 minutes in. And then we're going to play the Shwarmy sound. They're going to roll their 2 30-second ads, 1 minute of your time. Shwarmy sound will come back and the story will come back. So the grand experiment of Slay, which is sort of like the grand experiment of Nocturnal back in the day, is now changing even more. I'm writing 1 chapter a week, writing it as we go, and I'm now writing to fit the format of this so that a mid-roll doesn't show up in the middle of nowhere and break your story flow and piss you off and then try and make you remember what's going on. So we're already seeing that some people are chafed that in the middle of the story, there's an ad. So we're going to start just like TV, which is the 7-act structure of a TV show. An hour-long TV show has 7 breaks for ads. They end it on, like the writers ended on a beat. So there's like, and then they found out that he had killed them all. Commercial! Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
no, that's it. Like right at the end, there's like, and then it comes back and it's not even me going, and it's somebody else. Yeah. So we're going to do that. Also, though, this has been in the works for a while, and we've talked 1,000 times about this. I'm not going to say that this is relevant, like the pandemic slowed this down too much, but I think that we are also adjusting the mid-roll. Like we're adjusting what happened. We just also saw it for the first time this past weekend, and I know you had a meeting and are kind of tweaking it to your audience a little bit more. So, this is just like watching live TV or Hulu. For us, which Scott is all like, why do I pay for this?
Oh my God. When I'm paying for Hulu and they put ads in there, there was a lot of umbrage. There was a lot of rage. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of like, who am I going? I'm going to get in a car right now and I'm going to go see these sons of bitches right now. I paid you money. Don't give me a goddamn commercial. But you guys don't pay me money for the podcast, so there's goddamn commercials.
And not only that, we're adjusting it so it sort of works better for the cast as it is. A little bit shorter, a little bit sooner, a little bit whatever. We're dialing it in.
Yep.
It is so the trade-off though is, as Scott said, eventually all the things that haven't been in the feed for a while, that's the trade-off. That, yes, we know we're making you listen to about 30 seconds more each episode of stuff that you didn't ask for or you didn't have before, but we're giving you back.
Thank you, Tracy.
Quite a lot of the content that we had taken away back in 2007 because that was the marketing.
Ooh, Mr. Carter.
Yes.
So that is correct. We are bringing back. So here is
Mary Garrett. I'm with you.
Here's the payoff. Here is the, if you might say, the money shot. The money shot is that all of the stuff we took away, Contagious, Pandemic, Starter, and on in the GFL. Because for a while, for years, we've been giving away only the first unabridged book in a series. Everything is coming back. Who's coming back? Everything is coming back.
Would you like me to flex for you? Because I'm a good flexer.
Baby,
Ready?
give him flex.
You have to do the everything. You can't even see me because I wear black and everything behind me is black. But trust me, I have no muscles. No muscles.
I'm super fucking jealous she can do that because I've had too many concussions through football and wrestling. And MMA training. Like I can't. If I shake my head like that, I have a headache that lasts for like 2 hours. So I have to like, I can't do it. Baby, can you pose down for him real quick? Because I can't shake. Oh, look at the guns. That's my girl. So, she.
I kiss, yeah.
Mr. Perfect Paul Orndorff, fabulous. Fucking fabulous. Anyways, so everything's coming back. We are going to have individual, so should we load the Realm app? Okay, so the question was from Martin Evans, so should we load the Realm app? Do you get any dollars at all? The answer is yes, download the Realm app if you want to. We get paid based on people listening through all of the content. The primary place we're going to get paid is the weekly podcast, same thing you guys are listening to right now, every Sunday, that comes out. And that's going to be important because that keeps regular content in the feed. So when other shows ebb and flow, and like we'll see in 6 months with seasons 2, whatever, we're still there banging away, pounding on it, pounding away. We'll be there every week for you as we've always been. For how many years now?
18.
18 years.
If Rob Otto agrees.
18 years it has been, if Rob Otto agrees. Rob's an accountant. He knows what's up.
He's not an accountant.
I was at one time. He's got accounting in the blood. It's in the blood. You know, it's like syphilis. You can't get rid of it. So,
does anybody have a calculator? Because I think it's 18
got distracted. Let's go back. Let's recap. All of our stuff that is not tied down to another contract, like the crypt, we're working on it. Be patient. That's all going to be back in the feeds. You guys will be able to go back and listen to it anytime you want. You can download it, listen to it, get rid of it, come back, download it later. So we get paid based on listenership. It's real simple. It's, the more people that are listening across the board to my content, the more Realm, who has dedicated ad sales people, which we don't have.
Yeah,
we don't,
and can't
Evo
afford.
did not have.
Yeah.
They have a dedicated ad sales team that will be going out to like, BMW, Harley, whoever, and being like, this kid, he's got moxie. He's got charisma.
I like the kid. He stays in the podcast.
The kid stays in the kid with the bald head stays in the podcast. So now we're going to be having separate feeds. The GFL will be one giant unabridged feed. All the novels, all the novellas. The Infected Trilogy, one feed. Generations Trilogy, one feed. Earth Core by itself, not Mount Fitzroy, we sold that to Audible.
Yeah.
But you know what? We'll see what we can do.
We're working the system.
And then, of course, Slay and Kissy Man and Hunter Hunterson and Sons and the Color series and everything we've taken away, Nocturnal, Ancestor.
Little one-offs that we have.
Everything's going to be up and turgid and girthy for your ears and face.
Before you move forward, Lisa Sutton, my goodness, so good to see you, my friend. I hope you're back to work, thriving in your artist work. I'm so glad to see you. It's been, at least since I've noticed, it's been so long. So it's so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're happy and healthy. But Lisa Sutton also said it isn't concussions. It's all of those warring characters in your head. They don't like to be shaken up, like the scary woman with the dirty, dirty pliers.
And Michael Grace has it nailed. This is a general reaction from the junkies. This ad surprised me. I was like, who put this ad in my podcast? Who put this podcast in my ad?
Fair. That's fair, Mike.
We've been watching a lot of Ghosts, so.
And if you haven't seen Ghosts,
yes.
and you're like, oh, I don't watch sitcoms, I will tell you, your FDO loves Ghosts.
I have not watched network television, NBC, ABC, CBS, for a long time. Because I saw that shit when I was in my single digits, in my teens, in my 20s. I watched it, and they're all basically the same show being rehashed. Ghost is a show I've never seen before. It's fabulous.
Right. And you guys both know that we watched The Good Place 3 years ago at the beginning of the pandemic. And that also was a surprising network show. It was lovely.
Which one was that?
The Good Place.
Oh, the Good Place was network?
Yeah, it was NBC.
Son of a bitch.
Schitt's Creek, also lovely. So I'm recommending, if you have some pandemic fatigue 3 years in, The Good Place, wonderful series to watch, available somewhere. Schitt's Creek, wonderful series to watch. Wait till episode...
Schitt's Creek was network?
No,
that was
it
cable.
wasn't. It was cable, but I'm
Okay.
saying these are shows that are good for your soul. If you decide to watch Schitt's
God,
Creek,
Jen, you're
wait
gonna love it.
until
You're gonna love
episode
it.
11 before you decide not to watch anymore, because the first season starts a little slow.
Ghosts?
And 3, Ghosts,
Listen.
yes.
Listen.
Yes.
If you want people to go down on you or suck you off, Ghosts is the show.
Phrasing.
Wait, is that how it's...
That is.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you want somebody to go down,
You want somebody to go down
you want to be sucked off.
You want to be sucked off or go down, Ghosts is your show. And here's the crazy thing.
Mr. Lamb, we are caught up on the newest season
It's
of
a
The
very
Mandalorian.
wholesome show. It's a wholesome show. Also, Mandalorian, straight nippy hard on and beer. I cannot get enough of that goddamn
Martin Evans,
show. It's
we have
incredible.
watched some of the UK Ghosts, but
Hey,
not
Ollie
all
Kirby's
of
back in the
UK
house. How's the
UK
little one?
Ghosts?
Tell us how the little one is
Hey.
in the chat room. Okay, so
The
let me make
little,
sure.
not so little one anymore.
Let me make sure I got this. I want to cover everything with Realm. Let's go back to books. Oops, that's not. See, you guys see, that's how the sausage gets made right there. What?
Also, while Scott's doing
Boom.
that, I will mention Rob Otto said the Good Shits Ghost sounds much more like a Sigler show.
That does sound like a good. That does sound like a Sigler show. In fact, I'm probably going to change Slay to the Good Shits.
Artificial
show.
Selection 1, is that you, Steve? And 2, oh no, I'm sorry, not Steve. I know who this is.
You want to go to chat? What are you asking, baby?
I'm messing up my email addresses. Josh Myers, that's you. If that's you, let me know. And also, yes, there's a UK Ghost. There's a UK Ghost. If you don't know, there's a UK office.
But
The
if you're
UK
not
Ghost-
English, you're not going to laugh. I'm
well,
serious.
no, that's what it took me a while, Jennifer. I had it in my head wrong, but I got it right eventually. Thank you.
Josh
I
is
hope
nice.
you.
I'm
Yeah, that's what
nice.
I'm saying. Steve
up,
Ritchieberg,
buddy?
what is
Haven't heard
that
from you in a
weird
while.
email? Something intellect, and it got me confused.
Missing intellect. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go over the Realm stuff one more time. So it's a system, the system of the podcast episode, uploading art, serving it, putting in the ads, slapping it up, flipping it, rubbing it down, all of those things. That's that's a system called Megaphone. So a lot of the weirdness you're seeing is Megaphone is a Spotify-owned podcast. They serve it up to you. So we're getting all of our stuff loaded on Megaphone. So huge props to Allie, who's been busting her ass. Allie Press doing all this stuff for us, and Evo. Frankly, Evo and Allie have been taking meetings with Realm. They're like, yeah, Scott, you don't need to be here. We got this. We got this. So yeah.
Can I jump in with a way late
We need a
celebration?
party big. What's that? Yeah, but make it quick. We're running out of
Super
time.
quick, but she finally talked about it in public. Our dear friend Allie Press recently got engaged to her gorgeous, soon-to-be spouse Hayden. It's wonderful, and it was on a vacation, and she mentioned it to us, and then didn't mention it for a while on social media, but she did this week. So congratulations, Allie and Hayden. So wonderful. Congratulations to you both. We're super excited for you.
And the last thing I'll say about the Realm business is Realm does. I'm trying to get with the modern times of podcasting. So podcasting, I just dumped everything. I just splattered it all about your face, about your midriff. There was just a spew of Spodcast content. There wasn't really any direction. I didn't aim. I sort of threw it out there. Spodcast. So now what we've got is these shows and other shows have seasons. So there are seasons to podcast now. And what you're going to find, the way it will work is the GFL, season 1 will be the rookie. Season 2 will be the starter. Or season 2 might actually be one of the novellas. We don't have John. John Vizcar is on vacation this week. So you're going to see in Apple, in iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere else, you'll see seasons. For this show that comes out every Sunday, there are 5 seasons right now in the Scott Sigler. Oh, we didn't tell him the name.
We didn't.
This is worked with Evo on this. Scott
I'm
Sigler
not allowed to do it on the desk. I get in trouble.
slices. It's slices of Scott Sigler because it gets into the horror vein. And Scott Sigler presents and all that other stuff have been taken. So it's Scott Sigler Slices. There's 5 seasons right now. If you go to Apple Podcast or I think it's Spotify Podcast, you'll see that. So when Slay's done, that will be season 5. And then season 6 will be maybe Slay season 2. I don't know. And then what happens is once Slay moves into its 2nd season, that becomes its own separate feed with the talkie talk chopped out. So it becomes evergreen and you're not listening to stuff about upcoming reading dates and all of those other things. The GFL will have many seasons Infected Trilogy will have 3 seasons. Generations Trilogy, 3 seasons. That's kind of how it works, and it's going to be super. You guys, it's going to be super fun. It's a very wholesome program, and I think you're going to like it a whole lot. You know what? It's just neat. It's very neat.
So there's a few tiny little housekeeping things that I don't think matter to the people who are actually watching, but I want to put an earworm in your head in case some of you have kids or friends are teachers or things like that. We still have a free 15-book ebook free download during the pandemic. And we're going to keep doing it. And I know that at the beginning of May, they're going to take away the pandemic designation in the United States, but we're going to look at the science. We're going to look at the science. So we've got that up there. If you're a teacher, those are downloadable for free as many times as you like. If you ever want Scott to come and talk to your classroom, if you're a person who has a tiny human who needs to download reading because they are not in school or don't have all their extracurricular activities, we have that too.
Steve,
we offer
right.
classroom Zooms, things like that. So for the folks in this chat who have either have young children or have children who have young children or children who are in school, keep that in mind because that's a thing we can do as well.
Because you know what everybody wants is all of their children to talk to this face right here. I am the visage of what you want your children to listen to. It's me. Okay, back. Sure. All right, so now we are almost out of time. Congratulations, Jennifer Hawthorne's and Nanti.
I don't understand.
Is that you or me?
That's you.
No, it's you.
God damn it.
We updated our iWatches, and Siri is trying so hard to help.
You guys, I'm gonna throw out a hot take. You guys ready for a hot take? Here's my hot take, and it's gonna get me in a lot of trouble with a lot of people. And I know that both sides of the political spectrum will not be happy with me. Siri is a bitch. There, I said it. Siri is a bitch.
I just think Siri
she's
is
dumb. She doesn't get things right. She's always throwing out information I didn't even ask for. And every time I pick up and I do this, because I want to like, hey, what's that you said? She pipes up and has to jibber jab and jabber about all this shit I don't care about. I don't like her.
I don't think she's a jerk. I think
like
she
her.
might be hard of hearing and might because I have and I'm not even sassing. I have lived with a couple of people who didn't notice that they had lost some of their hearing and pointing that out, they were like, oh, that makes me feel so much better. I didn't know what was wrong. And I feel sort of like the newest update of Siri might be a little hard of hearing. I don't know how that works with the AI.
Siri's a know-it-all. She's a know-it-all.
She is. Well,
and she doesn't always get the
tries hard.
information correct either.
She tries hard. My Siri is a dude, so I have the same problem when he's like, let me offer all of these things. And I was like,
Lisa
nobody
Sutton, how dare you?
has.
Lisa says, I'm a Mac person and I am better friends with
What
Alexa.
are you talking about? So are we.
Do we like Alexa? I don't use Alexa for shit.
You use Alexa
Alexa
all the time downstairs listening to music and singing music.
That's
yes,
true.
you do.
That's true. I do.
Lisa Sutton, you are right. We are also a Mac house.
Michael Grace flirts with Alexa. Hey, you know what? I got to train Alexa to answer to, hey, girl.
Oh, wait. Tim, you can't. Yeah, please. But Timothy Clark says Siri is a narc. And I think that's it. Siri just doesn't want to get blamed for anything. That's what I think is happening. So I'll be like, for example, this weekend we're visiting friends and it's Patty's Day. If you don't know, I am a first-generation American and I love to cook. And so for Patty's Day, I always cook. So I'm going to get the opportunity to do that again. And as I was kind of putting together a menu while I'm not in my own kitchen, Siri was quite helpful. Well, I have this. Here's how you say, here's how you celebrate Patty. So when I was like, hey, what can I make on short notice in not my kitchen other than colcannon, which is mashed potatoes and kale. Or mashed potatoes and cabbage. It's very easy. She was like, well, here's how the Irish wish each other happy St. Patrick's Day, Sláinte Mahath, which is totally not how you say happy St. Patrick's Day.
I have an admission. I have an admission to make. I'm going to confess. I'm going to confess right now.
Am I going to get upset because of my Irish roots?
I am married to a first-generation Irish girl.
First-generation American Irish girl.
First-generation American Irish girl, complete with the red hair, which
is no longer my own, but yeah.
Doesn't matter. Don't give a shit. What I see is red. Or I see red hair. I got a thing for redheaded broads. So I have changed Siri to being, what else can I find for you today? I'm like, Hey Siri, can I get directions? You sure can get some directions, can't you? Would you like some gold in your rainbow? How would you like some Lucky Charms with those directions?
My wee Patty. Like, of course.
It's getting warm up in here, my breakfast cereal. It's getting all... I don't even know what to say.
We don't even have breakfast cereal in the house. Okay.
Would you like some cold cannon for St. Patrick's Day? That's what my Siri sounds like. It's great.
So listen, I know that everyone's Irish on Paddy's Day, and this is not a big deal. However,
these are two actual Irish people here, you guys. She more than me, but still.
If you want, since it's Friday, right? So if you want to add a little genuine Irish cuisine, I would encourage you to look up colcannon, Cannon. It's mashed potatoes, cabbage, bacon, butter, and milk. It's really good. And it's comfort food, it's peasant food. It's exactly what you'd expect. But to me, I make it every year and I share it with my friends because my granddad taught me how to make it. He was a cook in the Navy, and he taught me how to make it. And I can only make it for 15 or more people. I try real hard to make it for less. I'm getting better, but he was a Navy cook, and one of the people on his ship for the 4 years where he was the Navy, the head cook. One of his mates, one of his crew in the kitchen was of Chinese descent.
Okay.
So and I'm not even making this up. Cut the cabbage with whole and thin so that each piece of cabbage was very long, because that was reminiscent of Chinese New Year noodles, which you eat for good luck because they're long. The longer they are, the luckier you are.
The longer the better. That's what I'm told when it comes to cabbage.
So in his shift would cut it so that the teeny tiny pieces of cabbage were really long. So I always do the same thing. So it isn't a good luck thing, but it is now.
Yeah. So we have we like the long cabbage. Apparently,
we like a long life. So if Chinese noodles are long or cabbage is long in your colcannon, either way, it's good.
Long, strong, bound to get that cabbage on. Baby got back.
Down to get the colcannon on.
Down to get
cabbage.
All right.
Okay, Michael Grace. Cabbage, potatoes. I mean, Irish people, potatoes.
That's all they ate.
Butter,
the Irish conquered the world
bacon,
on nothing but potatoes and abstinence. It's a known fact.
I mean,
it's a known fact. The Irish are like, we're not drinking, we're eating potatoes, and that's it.
Literally this big, and like we're everywhere.
Siri, how big is Ireland? Oh, it's a wee little continent. It's very tiny. It is. Would you like directions to the colcannon? Whew, whew.
Potatoes.
Getting all steamy up in here. Getting all steamy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dance our way out of this house, and I'm assuming that both of my ears actually work, but I don't know, because I can only hear out of one ear right now. We'll be back on March 22nd. Did I do the math right?
After spring
break.
After spring. Spring break is who knows when, but spring is March 21st.
Spring has sprung. We're gonna take a little trip. We're gonna big old jet airliner taking me to the East Coast. We're leaving on a jet plane tomorrow. We'll be back next week for Slay Part 14. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you, the blood will flow. I'll drink your milkshake. I'll drink it all.
Hang one sec.
Yep.
Michael Grace, you joined late. We're not talking about Ron joining the Jets because I don't want to take a service road to the Super Bowl. Fuck him. Fuck Ron.
Shut up.
At least I'll have a lot more time on Sundays come this fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right, so here we go. Oh my God, shit. You fucking busted the cap on that can, whoop ass, and I don't want to deal with it.
Start it again.
No, that's okay. We're fine. Shake it off. We'll be back on the 22nd for Slay Part 14. I will tell you that if you guys associate with other junkies in the various chat rooms and the Facebooks and all the online places, you're going to want them all to catch up on Slay and then watch episode 13, which will only be available on video at Facebook. Facebook.com/Scott Sigler, Twitch.tv/Scott Sigler, YouTube.com/Scott Sigler. They will want to be caught up. They will want to join us for Slay episode 14 because the shit is going to hit the fan. And a lot of the various things I've sort of touched on and teased and tantalized, but not explained. Everything's going to get explained in episode 14. It's going to be long cabbage episode 14. So there we go. And all right, until then, we want you to stay smart.
Hang on one sec. I just added a cold cannon recipe by request to the chat room on Facebook. Use a lot more butter than is in this recipe.
We're a cooking show now.
And we want you to
stay smart.
We want you to stay science.
And for the love of science, we wish that you stay informed. We've heard they're dropping mask requirements in many places, including hospitals.
3 years in.
Wait, let me channel in a ghost. This is unfortunate. The masks being dropped. I would rather the masks would stay on. All right, here we go. Back to here. And now all of y'all can kiss off into the sky, and you can ask Siri to help you, and she don't care because she don't give two wet shits. All right, you ready,
Love
baby?
all y'all.
Oh, for the love of science, stay informed.